Welcome back to the Dime Comic Bros.
Ah!
I almost had it, too. That joke needs to end.
What, like the Jedi?
Yes.
Welcome back
Speaking
to
of
Cuck
No,
Hour.
you are not allowed.
Welcome back to Cuck Hour. I'm your host, Cuckboy Victor Von Doom.
Victor Wando.
Victor Von Doom.
Speaking of things that are ending, Netflix is going to stop dropping whole seasons at a time pretty soon, and I'm very excited for that. Because it's horrible.
You have all the bad takes.
I legit don't care.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I say it's bad takes. It literally doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I've never binged a whole show like that. I've always done like 2 or 3 episodes maybe, and then just go do something else. I don't have the attention span.
I've binged shows when I was like in high school, but now I
Don't
really,
lie to me.
I can't do that anymore.
Don't lie to me. What season of Shameless are you on?
I'm still on 5.
Yeah.
No, 6.
You watch 6 seasons in like a month.
That and they're only 12
That's
episodes.
close to a binge.
Yeah, sure, but it's not like I sat there for a whole weekend and I went through 3 seasons. That is a hardcore binge. I haven't done that since high school,
All right, I'll allow it.
and I binge more than one show at a time. So.
Why buy a comic that might cost more than a dime? Come meet the brothers who are here to waste your time.
My name is Jacob, joined by Spencer and Colin.
Hello.
I don't think we fully got out the name of the show because Colin has the random yells every time we try to do it, but it's okay.
Dime Comic Bros.
Dime Cucky Brothers.
No.
Yes.
Somewhere in there will be a theme song. But we watched
Fant4Stic,
Fantastic Four.
2015.
Versus Cuck Lord Doom,
Sure.
Part 3.
Yeah, okay.
You're such an ass today. You are such an ass today. Yeah, sure.
That's nice, sweetie.
Oh my gosh. We need Mom to be here to slap you in the head. Being an ass today.
So, my girlfriend
wait.
is now your mom.
We said this last week.
I don't remember this.
His dominatrix, you mean?
Yes.
The
I'm
stick,
very uncomfortable by this. Actually, I'm very uncomfortable.
the stick that is up Spencer's ass.
Yeah, since I know her, it makes me very uncomfortable to say that.
So,
Can we talk about Fant4Stic, please?
So the movie was directed by Josh Trank, who co-wrote the screenplay with Jeremy Slater and Simon Kinberg. It's the Fantastic Four, but what if they were like 18 and it wasn't fun and it was dark?
I had
a little
fun.
bit of spooky.
I had fun. I liked it. I liked the spook.
Please explain your hot takes.
So, it's not a good movie. Don't get me wrong.
Okay,
It's not a good movie.
I agree.
I really like the horror and like body horror. I really liked all that and like how dark and kind of like felt spooky. I liked most of the movie until like then we started seeing the Thing being a like soldier.
So literally the entire second half. That's the midway point.
I would say that's a little bit further than midway point, but semantics.
It was literally where all 3 of us, including you, who hasn't seen it before, went, "Oh, this is where it gets bad."
Yes.
Yeah, the movie has a massive time skip in the middle, and it has like a couple of cool scenes, and then it just goes into like, ha! And now they're feds.
Yeah, so I didn't
real
really
weird.
like that, but Doom seemed kind of cool. I wish that
He had his hood on more. For this movie, I thought it was cool with elements like that. And I had more fun with this movie than the last 2 because it hit sweet spots for me. Like darker doesn't have to be darker tone, but like obviously the body horror, like I said. And
You like
It tickles little parts in your brain.
yes, it tickles little parts in my brain.
Yeah.
And that's
No, for sure.
and that's pretty much it.
Oh, I
for
agree with
me.
you. I agree with you on that. It's more to my liking, but it's definitely worse than the other 2.
Yes.
There's a
but-
lot of good ideas that just weren't followed up on
And I think
or followed through.
for Mr. Fantastic was actually utilized.
He was
utilized
all right.
more in this movie than the other 2. Like his powers were. I felt
I feel like
I felt like he did more cool actions. That's what I mean by that.
The things he does stand out more. I think they definitely used his powers less. But in general, I think the characterizations were mostly pretty good. Miles Teller as Reed is actually pretty convincing. I quite like him. He has the right type of head in cloud dork energy that
Yes.
I enjoy. Michael B. Jordan as Johnny is fantastic. There's nothing.
You always say that.
I'm sorry. Both of their Human Torches have been fucking great. Like I really like that. Ben, it seemed very underutilized by the movie. But I like the fact that he was a bit more on the subdued side. That's just kind of a preference thing. And Sue was fine, which is better than last time. So I'll give her that. Doom was pretty trash, though. Like, just the characterization, it completely misplaces his priorities and his powers, and none of it makes sense, even to the movie's own logic. It just goes completely off the rails.
This movie seemed to try to lean into sciencey stuff, but most of it was like STEM feeling, so it really just resulted in like Hackerman scenes for the most part.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
The early 2010s, although it came out in 2015, it has like the end days of the Fox X-Men movies, which this was potentially going to cross over with at some point.
Oof.
Like glad that didn't happen. But like it had they didn't call it the negative zone when it's clearly supposed to be the negative zone. They're like Earth Zero. Like it's
literally negative zone.
the refusal to it has that like distinct ashamedness of being a comic book property, despite the fact that it is already like dumb and silly anyways.
Mhm.
Like the fact that it takes itself so seriously is funny. There's parts of that I enjoy, like the body horror stuff. I think it can be cool. I wouldn't want a whole movie like that. I think that's mistaking the tone of like the Fantastic Four. But for a couple of scenes, it's interesting.
Yeah.
But like they're silly characters with weird powers who go on like space adventures and shit, and then it's like I don't know. They try to characterize Doom in the beginning as like
Sad
like
boy hour.
he's like he would be like he with the stuff he spits off, he sounds like a left-wing anarchist type, and then like by the end he's just like nah, power, like really
I just want my own planet
it makes no
to live alone.
yeah, literally, like I don't apparently from what I can tell, Doom went through the most amount of like revisions in the script and shooting process. There was a bunch of different versions of it, and it sounds like all of them were bad. The actor I don't think was a bad pick, but holy cow, the material he was given to work with was crap.
It was
Yeah, no, I thought he was a good actor.
kind of frustrating or just a weird vibe because the Fantastic Four go back to the negative zone and find Doom, and that's when we paused it because Collin had to take a pee-pee, and we realized we only had like 20 minutes left. And
Yeah.
he just goes God mode, wrecks stuff, and goes back to his planet and tries to ruin Earth. And like
Yeah.
it comes together very, very, very quickly, and it's just awful.
The first half, I would argue, for the like aside from some rough dialogue and like some reshoot nonsense, like the general thing feels roughly cohesive, if
Yeah.
mostly uninspired and kind of bland. But then once it hits the midway point, it's so many
Just falls
different
apart.
plot lines. It's trying to pull all this emotional weight it's done none of the work for. It's acting like we've known these people for, multiple movies when it's been like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work out well. We hit the midway point, they get their powers, and then like there is no second act. Like the structure's all over
Yeah.
the place. It has the darkest hour in the middle of like a traditional 3-act structure, but there's no the inciting incidents also in the middle. It's weird. The movie's structured like crap, and who knows where that falls.
I must be honest, it was much better than I remembered it. I saw it back in 2015 and remembered it to be a downright terrible, awful movie, which it is, but going back into it this time expecting nothing, there were actually some fun concepts to laugh at.
Yeah, there's at least something there. So I think Jacob probably remembers this. I was so excited for this when it was coming
Oh
out.
no.
I had liked the previous movies as a kid. I watched them a lot because they were more family friendly, so they passed a lot faster in my house than
Yep.
slightly more mature stuff. And I had always liked the Fantastic Four. I hadn't read a lot of the comics as a kid, but I had played some video games that they were in, and like, just general like cultural osmosis stuff. It's cool, and I was like, ooh, this looks like a slightly more mature science-y take on this cool story with characters I want to get to know better. So I would have been 14 to 15 when this came out, and that was like when I first started getting into comics and movies like properly into the actual like art of it. And the trailers all looked really cool. I remember watching a trailer in the theater with my dad before, it was probably before Days of Future Past, I think, because that came out in 2014.
Dang.
And this was when my dad was already getting superhero fatigue, and he was already like, looks like another movie, yay. But I was like, just freaking out of my seat. The trailers were really cool and dramatic, and they weren't color graded so harshly.
I was waiting for that one to come up.
And then I watched it, and I was like, I don't hate this as much as everybody else is. The fact that it has such low aggregate ratings is kind of impressive, but like it's not good. It's not even really competent. There are like competent parts of it. The behind the scenes of this is notoriously messy. Josh Trank apparently had like massive mental breakdowns like on set, and then the studio meddling and blah 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 blah, like just a butt ton of stuff. So like
A butt ton of
butt ton of stuff. Like there is no completed other cut or anything like that, but like there was a different plan originally, and then Trank was very butthurt with the studio about it. But not like that doesn't happen every 5 minutes. It's just I was so disappointed because this was kind of what I wanted from a Fantastic Four movie. Like it still has fun with it. It's still goofy and science-y, but also like mature. I was 14 and edgy,
Collin really liked Doctor Doom going God mode.
I thought it was interesting.
I was impressed they got away with that much blood, to be fair.
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
That was cool. It makes no sense, and I hate that, but it does visually look pretty cool.
Yes. That's all I need, really.
Collin also liked the charcoal look of the Human Torch.
I like how you're saying all my points for me, buddy.
Well, you're not, so...
I'm going to. I'm just letting him speak and seeing where I can place my voice in a proper way. But yes, thank you for reminding me. Yes, I really did like Johnny Storm's charcoal look under his flames rather than him being like completely engulfed in orange and weird CGI where it felt like they kind of played with that where they made it so that they didn't have to make him look exactly like his normal self or like a flamed version. It was just more like charcoal, and the flames are just so bright that like you can't really see what's going on in there except for like the body movement. That was really interesting.
I don't know if it was made directly as an artistic choice, but I can definitely understand it being like a shortcut, basically, to like have to animate less stuff.
Yes.
And either way, I do agree. It does look nice. And it makes it look more distinct than the previous one, which still holds up pretty well, but it does differentiate them a little bit.
I like that you pointed out that it's probably not an artistic choice. It's just like a shortcut. But what's funny is that artistic choices are shortcuts.
This is true.
That's the whole point.
They're made out of... Most really interesting creative choices are made out of limitations. It's just something where it's like... That probably wasn't like a VFX artist that said, this will look really cool. Like, that probably wasn't in the, concept art. It was probably an animator going, shit, we need to get this out.
Well, they
we turned
gave
this
me $50 to animate the whole movie.
Yeah, pretty much. Some of the visual effects do hold up pretty well. Like, The Thing, I think, does look really good.
Yep.
Especially the fact that he's so heavily shadowed all the time makes the rocks appear really distinct and very jagged. But some of it also doesn't look good, like the skybeam and most of the end sequence. Just doesn't look good.
You pointed out while we were watching it that the face model for The Thing looked great.
Yeah, it's very expressive for being a fully CG face. I'm assuming they,
mocapped his face.
They might have mocapped it. They might have just based the face, vaguely off of his. But it does express emotions very well. And I'm impressed. 7 years later, that holds up fairly well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I dig it.
It was it doesn't make sense to have that emote well, and then when they're in space doing the oopsie whoopsie, they have most of their faces covered, so they can't emote as they're like, "Ah, shit, we just got green goo all over us."
That
I
was
think the
such a-
reason for that was because if you look at Victor after the transformation, this mouthpiece.
Oh, that's true. They
looks
would
just
they
like
wanted
their
to have
mouthpiece.
they wanted to have his mask be like built into his face. That's
Yep,
That's
that's
retarded.
that is
That's what I
retarded though.
noticed.
Because
That is
I
you're both
didn't
right.
say
But all their
anything, but like it
characters
is
didn't have it.
retarded. It is retarded because I was like, that's the reasoning why his face looks like that. They could have, with how shitty they made him like look drippy, they could have like made all his like sharp edges of that like mouth region like these weird drippy jagged, because they did it all around his like whole like suit. It was like duct tape looking, like you guys said, and
God, that suit is so
they
bad.
could have just
Paper
went,
mache with duct tape.
yeah.
If like it's it's impressive if a
wait.
random person had made that, but like that's not good as a professional costume.
You heard it here. Dr. Droom's got the drip.
I mean,
No, Reed Richards has the drip. His homemade elastic suit made out of springs and shit.
which was actually
kinda like
fantastic. I love it.
I wish the suits had more color to them, but I do like the designs.
Yeah, I wish they were blue.
Yeah, they're like so dark navy / charcoal that it's really hard to tell. They might have been more blue, and then the color grading made it look charcoal, which really is the thing with this movie. It looks like
You said the thing.
the color grading. It looks like the
No, you said the thing.
Along with fantastic.
like it looks like it was shot in a way to be fairly like high contrast, lots of downlighting and like lots of shadows. It looks like it was shot that way, but for some reason the color grading makes it look like they're forcing it really hard. Like it's
Yes.
very desaturated, and like every scene almost looks exactly the same in terms of color grading. Like they didn't go in and you obviously a lot of the movie takes place in like scientific facilities with boring unnatural lighting, so I guess that's part of it, but there are no scenes where they go in and they have, there's a yellow light in the room, so the hues are different. It just kind of all looks the same until they're in Earth Zero, which one time is green and one time is yellow, like, and then the other time is blue. Like, it bothers me because it gives off the impression of trying to be dark and edgy when, like, the movie kind of already did the work for that. It looks like based on the lighting and, like, framing setups. They just rushed through it in editing and just slapped on a really bad filter to it because they didn't have the time to go by like frame by frame to color it the right way.
Yes.
It's just frustrating because it looks so lazy for a pretty expensive looking movie for the most part. Some of it looks pretty expensive and then some of it looks pretty bad, but like some bits the vibe is there. I like the vibe.
Well, you know what else had good vibes?
Sue Storm's wig. And the
Oh
other
yeah, we didn't even talk about that yet.
that
Oh, my
one's been talked to
word.
death.
Right,
Every 30
no.
seconds she has a different haircut and color because they had to reshoot the movie 50 times.
No, I was trying to move on to She-Hulk.
She-Hulk was also pretty good vibes.
I have a lot of notes from this episode.
Really?
Yeah, it's surprising.
Interesting.
Most of it's jokes. So
Oh, yeah. So Jen goes on Marvel Tinder and goes on a date and then goes on a date and goes on a date and then has to help Wong and then
Gets a date interrupted that was going successful
And
to
then-
help Wong.
and then Wong goes on a date and that's basically it.
uh,
I really like how this show is just going, nah, fuck it, we're a comedy, like an actual comedy show. Like there's barely any plot here.
the opening crack about using Wong as like Twitter armor was so funny.
Yeah,
I like that
I
a
had to
lot.
pause it because I was laughing so hard.
I like that a lot.
They are so self-aware at how cringe the mainstream is. It's so funny. The opening shot of Jen, I guess. I love that her suit doesn't fit before she goes to work. It's
I like it.
intentionally too big. It's awesome.
It's really
cute.
It's,
It's really cute.
I hate it, but it's really cute.
It feels like such a tease to have Donnie Blaze.
I
I don't
The
know
f-
anything about Donnie Blaze.
It's supposed to be Johnny.
I think it's just a coincidence. The fact that everyone on the internet goes, "Oh my God, Ghost Rider," is literally just the fact that there's one name in common. Like, shut the fuck up.
I thought it before I saw anything online.
I just like the fact that you pointed out the actor who plays Blaze is the director / showrunner's husband.
Yes.
That's cool.
That is wicked cool.
That would explain his horrible acting.
Yes.
But, I can deal with it.
I kind of wonder who Jake the Demon Goat is. I need a 6-issue comic book run on this guy. He sounds interesting.
Okay, so
Mephisto confirmed.
when she was talking about home, shut the fuck up. Not this again.
Oh, how
my
the tables
God.
have turned.
But holy shit! I actually when she was talking about I had to make a pact with a demon I'm not allowed to talk about. I was way more interested in what she went through. I want to see what she did.
Yeah.
I
We
want
don't
to see
have the budget for that.
I know, but I want to.
Correction, we don't have the time to animate that. We have the budget for it. Madison is the type of person who in real life would drive me fucking crazy, but she's very funny to watch.
Madison is the type of person I'd hate at first, and then you'd find me hanging out with her.
Only because you're drinking too.
That too.
Yeah,
Dude, she probably drinks more than you. She can tank more than you.
Oh, yeah, by far.
Imagine the casting call for that though. All right, we need a cringe white girl wasted chick.
Oh man.
I don't.
I would do that.
That's true.
That is so.
Her chemistry with Wong is very entertaining.
I love it.
I do hope that they don't make her a really long-standing character overall. I think Katie from Shang-Chi kind of had not the same vibe, but has the really goofy comedic friend vibe kind of covered. I don't think we need another one. But her and Wong talking about The Sopranos was very funny.
Also, Wong has great taste. His favorite drink is a G&T.
That's fair.
Haha.
Gin and tonic?
Yes.
I hate gin and tonic.
You're gay.
I hate you.
I hate gin.
She-Hulk / Jen starts going on dates, and she finds the one, I guess. And
Immediately steals his shirt.
no. Before that, they're still at the date, and he. The lesson I learned from this episode is, damn, all I have to say is, do you want to split a basket of fries? Because as soon as he said that, she was like, yeah, let's take it to go. I'm going to smash you.
Hulk smashed this boy.
But
he turned out to be a dick. Not a good one.
My last joke. Collin loved the moment She-Hulk carried the big, strong Dr. Man to the bedroom. I loved when Jen was only wearing his t-shirt. We are not the same.
I am both of you.
Hold on. No. I am what Spencer said, okay? Because I was ooh, when she did that. I literally, I was verbal about it. I was like, whoa. And then when the next scene where she's just in his shirt, I'm like, aw, she's so cute. So fuck you.
We are not the same.
It's an incredibly strange thing, but I don't think I've ever thought of describing a woman in her late 30s as cute. She's 15 years older than me. This has never happened in my life. I'm not sure what the hell's going on.
She just has a great
She's just cute.
aura or persona or whatever. She has a good air about her on the show.
She just seems like a good person.
Yeah. She's fun. She's quirky.
Person.
She's funny.
Not quirky as in our generation quirky.
No, but she is
not autistic quirky.
Yeah, no, she's normal. And it's
great
nice.
Quirky.
I liked the stupid demon fight. The demon goblin things looked half decent, I guess.
Remind me of home.
It was fun getting just to see her just smash some stuff and a stupid little adventure that they had to go on. Is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing more really to it. I'm pretty damn confident that's not going anywhere. That's not setting up shit. It just is.
It's just
a thing.
Fun. Yes.
Yeah.
Just like the rest of the show. It's just.
Yeah.
It's just something fun.
Until Daredevil shows up and it's oh, I'm Catholic.
He's really doing it for me. Daredevil and She-Hulk? Because Daredevil's Catholic.
Trailer,
he's
right?
a whore.
You saw the trailer, right?
No.
She said, oh, he's really doing it for me.
Was that with him in shot though?
Yes.
Or was it just a cut?
No.
All right.
He was in shot.
I didn't
in
know.
the back.
It was with Matt, actually, not just Daredevil.
It was Daredevil.
Anyway, my last note. The episode ends with her getting served a lawsuit or whatever. Titania's suing her because Titania trademarked the name She-Hulk. And that whole thing is very dumb. It's going to be an easy out. She's been all over the news and whatever saying, I don't really like this name. You guys, the general public gave it to me, so she's not using it. The general public has been using it. Wow. That's dumb.
Way to ruin the episode.
Thank
Fuck.
you.
Who we gonna call?
Your mom?
Daredevil.
Oh.
Better call Saul.
She's gonna shut up. She's gonna hire Daredevil just to kick the shit out of Titania over a small lawsuit.
And then smash
they're gonna
him
bang.
afterwards? They're
You
gonna
know-
smash.
They're gonna
know-
smash.
Stick with the Hulk jokes.
You know, I don't want to think
It's gonna
about
be
that.
incredible.
I don't like anyone usurping Karen, but I could live with that. Despite the fact that the two characters are very different tonally, they're both very wholesome people in very different ways.
Mhm.
I mean, Daredevil smashes all kinds of people in the
Well,
comics.
Yeah, but he works best with Karen, especially Deborah Ann Wool's Karen. My goodness.
Shut
You
up.
sound thirsty.
I am. Dude, the actress plays D&D.
She
Hey.
does.
All right,
Yeah.
that is hot.
She runs a charity for her husband, actually. It's pretty cool.
Because he's blind.
Yeah, they sold off all of the Netflix props in auctions and stuff for the it's really cool.
That is wicked cool. I didn't know any of that.
Now
you know.
what?
I had something snarky to say. Oh yeah, I like how you guys were very much so nailing me as Wong for 5 minutes, and then you didn't bring it up on air. You're like, that's Spencer.
It is.
Oh yeah,
Just
because
like-
he was just
Yeah.
hanging out in his old man house
His
and with
bathrobe.
with his drink, and he's in his robe, and he's
A
listening to
cigar.
music and he's about to sit down, but he's dancing on his way down to the
Just
seat.
to the theme song of Sopranos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is you, though.
It is
I can
very
live
evil.
with
You
that.
cannot deny it.
I like Wong so much.
Yeah,
But-
it's not
but
even an insult. Why
No,
are you taking it
it's-
as an insult?
I'm not. I'm just bringing it up because you guys brought it up, but then you didn't bring it up for the comedy of the internet.
Well, we forget things, so shut the fuck up.
Colin,
Mhm.
what have you done this week?
Okay, so
Ooh.
I'm going to be talking about.
Coming in hot.
Yep. I'll be talking about 2 movies in one go. Ready?
Oh
Set,
boy.
Go.
Yes.
No, it's not the movies that you thought.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It's just I'm going to do this because I'm on a Ninja Turtle kick. Next week is when I'm going to talk about those 2 other movies.
I think this is more than a kick. I think this is a Ninja Turtle obsession.
No,
It
he's
ha-
going on an autistic hyper focus
Okay,
thing
so-
for 2 weeks. Don't worry about it. He'll be fine.
Because I hyper-focus only certain things, which are superhero, ninja, and turtles. But anyway, what are you doing?
Making a mess.
Moving the cum towel.
Okay, so moving on from the cum towel, I watched 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live action movie and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows in one sitting.
Wow.
Yep.
Aren't you sexy?
I don't know.
So you had a piss bucket?
Nope, I pissed in your cat's mouth.
What the fuck?
My cat is dead, you asshole.
My cat is also dead.
Yeah, but we talk about deep frying your cat, so it's fine.
Oh, that's so bad. So bad.
Throwback.
So, why'd you have to say that? What you so throwback, guys?
That was 3 years ago.
I know. Oh my gosh.
It was
So-
a weird tangent, too. He was talking about dipping his dick
Yeah.
in your cat's ashes and then deep frying it.
Fucking piss quick.
So Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I watched. So I realized that I hadn't watched the second movie, and I remember watching the first movie as a kid in theaters, but I was barely paying attention. And from what I remember, it was terrible, and everyone always talked about how both of those movies were terrible. So I decided to rewatch them because one of my favorite actors is not favorite, but one actor that I recognize, and I like the character they played in Shameless, so I watched the movie,
Will Arnett?
which is Mikey. Mikey is played by the guy that plays Mickey, who is the boyfriend who plays the redhead, in Jedi Fallen Order.
Who's actually Kevin Bacon.
Yes.
Hold on.
Anyway.
I know his name. Cameron Monaghan. There we go. I remember. Oh shit, he did play Mikey. I forgot about that.
Yeah, he played Mikey.
I forgot that. Holy cow. That works.
Yep.
Ah, Orange.
Oh
Get
no,
it?
not the redhead. The redhead's boyfriend in
Oh, never mind.
Shameless.
Never mind.
Anyway, so this movie is basically just Shredder is bad and wants to make money apparently, and his whole organization is not ninjas. I mean, he's like the only ninja thing. Everything else is militarized, and it's ridiculous. We barely get to see the turtles until like the end of the fight. Everything else is engulfed in shadows, and we're just talking to April, who's played by a sucky actress, and she's like frantic about everything. The Ninja Turtles learned how to.
He doesn't like Megan Fox.
No. And then Ninja Turtles learned ninjutsu because Splinter learned it from a book he found in the sewers. That's worse.
Noel Fisher, by the way, played Mikey.
Yes. Which is worse than them being just reincarnations of Hamato Yoshi and his sons. So they were my pets. Yeah, it's worse. I mean,
sorry, Megan Fox is hot. I will die on this.
Sure,
film.
she's hot,
She's
but
insane,
she's
but
annoying.
she's pretty hot. She's had a couple of good roles.
Okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. Moving on.
Didn't she play in the Transformers?
Yes.
All right.
She's like the first two.
I'm just trying to make connections here. Continue
First
talking
two or
turtles.
whatever.
Turtles.
I'm trying to get through the plot of this.
Turtles.
So the main plot is just that the company that made the ooze that and it's, I think it is TCRI, but they're not connected to Krang at all. Anyway, TCRI wants to make this this virus and bring it all over the city and the world so that they can make a cure and so they can make a lot of money, and somehow Shredder's a part of it because he wants to do that. But Shredder is acted like he's an afterthought of the movie. Like they weren't planning on having him do like played by whatever like Japanese guy that's in this movie.
Yeah, they pulled that really crappy twist. So weird.
No, it wasn't even a twist. Like he was in it the whole time, but he was engulfed in shadows. It was like it was a reshot.
Yeah.
Because they wanted the white guy of TCRI to be the Shredder. Because the whole thing's militarized. And this whole original script was that they were supposed to be aliens from another planet.
I wish that script had gotten used, honestly. Fuck it.
Anyway, I'm glad they didn't do that.
Nah.
There's probably nothing good about this. Mikey looks the ugliest out of all of them.
Wait, you don't like the big fat nose?
No, like the other ones, I'm like, they could probably be fine without their mask, but everyone else looked awful.
I really like how Raph looks. The top of the
You
bandana.
and Wesley both. I don't like that.
Really?
I like all of them just have regular masks.
I like it when
top.
they're different sometimes.
I don't really. I like when they're different when their clothes are different, like or whatever they wear is different. But like the masks, that's like to me, that's like what unifies them.
I guess.
That's the besides being a turtle. That's another thing that unifies them. They have all different weapons and shit.
Yeah.
I do like that Donnie's like super teched out and whatever. I don't like the glasses. Not super teched out, but
it looks ugly.
Yes, it does. Reiteration. I like the idea. I don't like the execution.
I'm rubbing off on him.
I'd
rubbing him.
I'd rather they went with like the 2003 Donatello where he always had a duffel bag with him and all his technology was stuffed in there. That makes more sense rather than him always having this giant ass backpack. The glasses are awful. Makes no fucking sense. I mean, it would have been cool if they had glasses and then he like somehow got a hold of contacts and just popped them. You see him pop them in. I would have been fine with that. That would be funny.
Where he's running out of the turtle van, just like, hold on a second, guys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That would have been so weird.
The turtle van doesn't show up till the very end, and it looks like shit.
At least the elevator scene was cool.
I don't really care.
Really?
Yeah, sure, it's fine.
It was a solid moment of like actual comedy.
It also like shows you that like they like music because they're always talking about Mikey's always talking about how they like make music together, but we never see them. But then they just do that. I'm like, okay, I guess I can see that. And then we go to the second movie, and it's referenced again. But to finish off with the first movie, nothing really big happens at all. Boring as fuck. And the turtle van looks like shit. Thank God they didn't use that. Now we're into the second movie. Second movie.
Wait. You don't want to just use the second movie as your second review?
Don't give him ideas.
We have two
spots.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Yeah, first movie sucked. It's not as bad as I remember it.
Give us a rating.
Big.
I would
mega,
not rewatch it.
Big mega shredder.
I'm giving it a 1 pepperoni out of 7
Whew.
Ninja Turtle toes.
That's brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
That's rough.
That's the floor. That's like 3 Turtles in Time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I too was planning to do a themed week, 2 of the same-ish thing, but then I found something else. So I'm gonna do 2 at the same time.
Fuck your mom.
I read Ram V's Swamp Thing. What was that for?
I was just waiting for it.
Volume 1 and 2, so Becoming is the first one, and Conduit is the second one.
So you're going to be coming into a conduit.
Yes,
Nice. Continue.
Becoming the Conduit.
The Conduit is coming.
Bees.
Did you know there's black and blue bees?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Don't give me that. Don't you fucking give me that.
Why would you ask?
No, but why would you say it like that? You're always like, yeah.
Everybody
Like you
knows.
know fucking everything.
Everybody knows that, Collin.
Fuck you. You're a fucking asshole.
Yes. So, Swamp Tang,
Swamp that.
Swamp Taint.
the Swamp Thing, to be technically correct.
You are correct. Written by Ram V and arted by Mike Perkins and colored by Mike Spicer and June Chung. It starts out with the new Swamp Thing guy. I forget his name. Do you remember?
Levi.
Yeah, Levi somebody.
Levi, your mom.
Levi, your mom, is the new Swamp Thing. And he's still trying to figure out his powers. And the first couple of issues were wicked cool because there's this desert ghost thing. He's kind of like, you know how Swamp Thing controls the green? This guy is like the black or something. He's kind of the desert and death and everything rolled in together. But anyway, he's a scary freaking ghoul that walks the desert and kills people and kicks Swamp Thing's ass several issues in a row, and it's pretty cool.
He's got little gold nuggets in his eyes.
Yeah. This run on Swamp Thing reminded me very much of the Immortal Hulk that I talked about so many times, because there's a lot of body horror in these books. There's freaking branches growing out of live bodies, and that's how Swamp Thing kills people. And
Hot.
yeah, it rips people apart with
Fuck yeah.
branches and flowers, and it's really gross. And I loved every second of it. It's really,
You and me both.
it's really cool, man.
We're just made for each other.
All right, guys, calm down.
It crossed over with something. I forget what. In the middle of the first volume, it didn't really seem to matter though. And then it came back. So that was cool. I like it when crossovers don't matter. It gets really frustrating reading a character's trade paperback, and it's like, oh, by the way, go read this big event that you haven't read the prelude to and don't know anything about. What else is
Oh, cool. I'll just
there?
shoot myself in the dick.
He's living with his friend with benefits, maybe? That's kind of cool. What's his face? Woodrue. Sorry. Woodrue. Is revealed to be the main villain that's been pulling the strings at the end of the second volume.
Whoa! Woodrue
yeah.
being a sussy boy. You're literally taking things off of my review. I was going to do this week. Now I have to knock it off my list. I'm going to stab you with
can
branches.
Review it with me.
No.
What am I missing?
Why are you like that? No.
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 I'm not going to talk about a thing because you're talking about it.
Yeah,
You're
go.
such an ass.
You missed the best issue of the entire run so far, which is issue 5, the first one of book 2, where he crosses over with Constantine for a single issue, and they just deal with like a kind of metaphysical problem caused by a buried nuke. It's very freaking cool. I really like that issue.
And it was interesting because it handled environmentalism, I guess, in that issue, but it wasn't preachy about it. It was like, hey, nukes are bad for the earth. Like, wow, really shocking, but also they did it really well. It was interesting.
I liked how it utilized the English UK setting rather than it just being like this book. This run is distinctly like very Indian, like
yes,
like
because that's
on the continent of like in like
India.
That's
India, which
Levi's,
yeah.
where he came from. So
It's just really nice, but it was also cool to have that little break kind of in the middle between, at the beginning of the second book, to just pop over to the UK for a minute and have John be like, green boy, okay, and then like it's just over. You know, it's like loosely relevant, but it is just kind of a standalone thing. And then the rest of most of the second volume, Conduit, is like a 3 or 4 part Suicide Squad crossover. It's not really a crossover, it's just the Suicide Squad is in it. They're hunting him for his juices.
this was pretty close, actually, to the character that's in Justice League Dark, the run that I've been reading. And I kept mixing this up with that, because there's an annual in the last Justice League Dark book that I read that was really good.
Yeah, because that's towards the end of Alec Holland's literal life. Because he's still dead.
Yes.
Base as shit. He's just living in the green, just chilling.
It was kind of interesting. The friend with benefits, maybe, of Levi is trying to do studies on him with his consent, of course, because that's how friends with benefits works. And, well, friends with benefits maybe works.
You study my dick, I study yours, you know.
No. It's like a CAT scan or something, and he freaks out and just blows flowers everywhere. Actually, there's a flower that blows powder in her face, and it was a little uncomfortable and weird.
Okay.
But it brings her into the green, which was really interesting. How it brought an actual human into the green, just because Swamp Thing was freaking out, and she got lost in it, and that was the whole issue or two. But that was really weird. I didn't know that could happen. I don't quite fully understand the green, but who does?
It's all relative.
Yes.
That's the thing that I will never get sick of, is rereading 4 pages of him just regathering a body. Like, I will never get sick of reading that. He keeps dying and coming back, and that's like his thing, you know. But it just they describe
It's his
just
thing.
like they just, every writer, every run, they take so much time describing him collecting the cells in his body and pushing them through the green out into some random location. I never gets old. I love that shit.
Both of these trade paperbacks cost $17. The first one I got for Christmas from Spencer, and that was wicked cool. It started a new addiction. Thank you, jerk. The second one I got from Jetpack, like the day it released or something.
$17.
Worth it.
Nice.
Absolutely. It goes so fast, it's like a one sitting's worth.
Yeah. The 3rd volume isn't out until like November.
February.
February? Fuck.
Yes.
Ugh.
February.
It's an ongoing too. That's the crazy part. This isn't even like a planned like 20 issues or whatever. As far as I know, they just keep going.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it's surprisingly violent.
And it's still mostly Mike Perkins doing the art too. Like, they had a couple of guest artists for volume 2, but it's still mostly Perkins. It's really nice.
No parental warning, but it kind of feels like it should. It's quite disgusting and gross.
Yum. I read Teen Titans Earth 1 Volume 1. It is a graphic novel released in 2014. So it's part of the Earth 1 lineup. They're all disconnected stories that are reinterpretations of classic heroes and or teams. So this was written by Jeff Lemire with pencils by Terry and Rachel Dodson. Basically, so we have a bunch of the Teen Titans that we're already familiar with. So Cyborg, Beast Boy, Terra, Raven, Starfire, Aqualad comes in later, never mind. A pretty traditional Teen Titans
Kid
lineup.
Flash?
Yeah, later. A pretty straightforward traditional team of Teen Titans are just kids going to high school, blah, blah, blah. Turns out all of their parents aren't really their parents, and they're all like test tube babies who have been infused with the alien DNA because Starfire crashed to Earth and has been kept in a facility nearby, and all of their parents are actually scientists and secret agents and stuff. It's pretty interesting on its base concept. They have a lot of violent clashes. It turns out that the whole program is being run by...
Slade.
Hold on. My brain's just not working. The entire program was headed up by Niles Calder, who is, if you're vaguely familiar with comic book history, the chief of the Doom Patrol. It's a whole thing. So they all, they break Starfire out of the facility. Half their parents are all dead, and they go off to go find Calder and figure out what the hell's going on. This book tries to play on the mystery of not knowing what, like, Starfire is kind of mentally linked to all of them and is calling out for help, but they all interpret those calls for help differently. Raven is reinterpreted as a Native American girl on a reservation, so she thinks that she's having like spirit dreams. Vic is being overtaken by like a digital parasite liquid metal thing. Terra obviously can control Earth, blah, blah. It's pretty typical stuff. Jericho ends up dying and takes over his father, Slade Wilson, Deathstroke's body. Deathstroke is good, ? Kind of. He's the only one of the only parents who thinks what they had to do was really bad and stuff, and like tries to help all the kids. Deathstroke was very much so wasted potential. I think he was cool and whatever, but his design was really crappy. Really didn't like it. And then the fact that he just gets overtaken by Jericho pretty early on is annoying. Vic is characterized as a huge dick, and I really don't like it. This book has a lot of angst to it. It's a bit much. It's a little, for a very cartoony art style, it's like really cartoony. It's overplaying the angst and the fuck. It was fun. It wasn't anything amazing, but it was solid. It's $12. I got it used at Bull Moose. It's decent enough for that price. Collin, tell me more about Out of the Shadows.
Tordos.
Okay, so we're on to the second Ninja Turtle movie, right?
Yes.
And now this is about, get ready,
Turtles.
the Shredder's breaking out of jail!
No.
Because they caught him in the first one, and guess who's transporting him to the other jail?
Turtles.
Casey Jones.
Wow.
Because he's an officer in this.
I
and
hate
he likes
Casey Jones.
And he likes hockey. Only hockey. He's not sports guy, he's hockey.
See, you held on to the and I thought you were going to say he likes hot dudes.
He probably does. He does look like a guy that would like hot dudes. But, so we open that. And he's being transported by a human. Being transported with two humans, Bebop and Rocksteady.
Whoa.
And they look phenomenal as humans, and they're actually really funny. So the whole plot of this movie is that Shredder broke out and the Ninja Turtles have their giant new truck that's a garbage truck, that's their new van because their other van really sucked. And they're trying to get make sure the Shredder doesn't escape, but basically help the Shredder escape by accident. And then Baxter Stockman's in this, and he's like helping make this teleportal for some reason. And once Shredder uses this teleporter to get out, he immediately gets teleported to Krang because this teleportal was made by using a device that was sent to the Earth by Krang. And they have to now get all three MacGuffins, which is a part of this teleportal, to bring in the Technodrome and to destroy all life on Earth to make it suitable for Krang. And when Shredder thinks that he's actually a part of this whole plan, Krang's like, you're not part of this plan. You're going to be a part of my toys that I broke. And he sends him off to his collection, where we also see a bunch of other aliens in passing, like the Triceratons, which are a big thing in Ninja Turtles, in the comics, and 2003. Anyway, that's basically the plot. But the subplots are also that April O'Neil's trying to get information from Baxter Stockman because she thinks that he's really bad, and to do that she has to dress up as skimpy schoolgirl. And then do this like run model, like, oh, she's hot moment in the movie, which was kind of uncomfortable, but she was hot, but it was uncomfortable, but hot. And then we move on from that, and there's this new purple ooze that I can't remember where it comes from, but Donnie analyzes it, and he's like,
Does
oh,
it
wow.
come from space?
Yes. And Donnie's like, wow, if we use a little bit of this, and he drops a little bit on his hand, he's like, we could be humans, and his 3 fingers turn into 5. It's really weird and creepy. 5.
Well.
And then Leonardo, because he only told this to Leonardo was like, don't tell the others. And Mikey overheard him. So Mikey tells Raph, and then Raph gets angry, and Raph's like, you didn't tell us anything. He's like, I don't have to tell you guys anything, because the only vote in this family that counts is my own. Blah, you guys are benched. And then they go and try to find the Shredder or whatever. And Mikey and Raph convince Casey and April that they need to go to the police station to get this ooze because they want to be humans or whatever. And then they find, oh, guess what? The Foot Clan, not militarized, but they're ninjas now. Weird. That's strange. Because that's nothing like the last movie, but it's more fun. And there's more ninjas. Basically, this whole movie is just like that. And also, Casey Jones gets introduced because he's trying to chase down Bebop and Rocksteady because he wants to be a real detective when he's a big boy one day. But he can't really find them. And he meets April in an alleyway and protects her with a hockey stick and pucks.
Did you like this movie?
I liked this movie a lot more than the first one. It was fun, but only because Bebop and Rocksteady were really funny. Because they kept making fart jokes. And when they got turned into Bebop and Rocksteady, like the monster versions themselves, like the Warthog and the Rhino, they're just like, whoa, this feels so cool, I feel so powerful. And they look at each other like, you're a rhino. And then the rhino's like, I have no idea what you are. He's like, you're like a little piggy. And then he turns around and he's like, I am a little piggy. It's just like, they're dark, they're retarded, and it's so funny. And they're just like, be honest with me, am I fat? He's like, no, you're not fat. You're so fucking obese. And he just tickles his belly. It's great. They're just funny. And they go to, like, in the middle of the jungle eventually to find one of the MacGuffins. And they have a giant tank. And they're just, like, singing this anti-war song.
Why can't we be friends?
Yeah, something like that. Oh, they're just so retarded. So funny.
I think Collin needs to go hang out with, like, the friendly neighborhood, like, obese alcoholic at the bar.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys would be friends.
Yeah, probably would. Also, Shredder got, like, a totally new actor. It doesn't look like the other actor, like, at all.
The suit's much better, though.
The suit's much better, but also, like, he's barely in the movie anymore, which is, thank God, Krang's the main villain. And, yeah, it's this brain alien that's in his stomach. It's actually, that's kind of good.
I love the Krang robot. It's
so
so
me too.
ugly.
I love it. It's such a good design. And, what else is there? Casey's just kind of Casey. He's not. No, Casey is just Arrow. Because it's played by the same guy that plays Arrow. Which he can't play anyone except for himself. He doesn't know how to play any other character. And even when he played Arrow, it was bad. He's not like... I'm not going to go on that tangent. Anyway, this movie, I give a 3.5 out of 7.
3.5 what?
That big of a step up just for 2 fat guys.
Yeah.
Holy shit, you're fucked.
It was fun. No, it's not a good movie. Holy shit, do I have to, like, say that every single time to make my point justified? It's not a good movie, Spencer.
But it's like triple what the...
But I'm having fun. Isn't that... You don't understand because you're fucking fun police. You can't have fun. It has to be regimented. It has to be this. It has to hit all these notes, and it has to fuck me up the butt for it to be a good movie.
Compare
Cinematography!
compare this one, the second one, to Fant4Stic.
I'd rather watch I'd rather watch Ninja Turtles again. The second one.
Okay.
What did I give Fant4Stic?
You didn't. That's
Okay.
why I'm asking. I need
Oh, Fant4Stic. Yeah, that's like a...
comparison.
It's a 2 out of 7.
All right. You've just been loving all the shitty movies this week.
No! Correction! It's a 2 out of 10. I'm gonna go 10 this time,
Whoa.
to be more specific.
You just broke Spencer's brain.
My brain's always broken.
2 out... It is a 2 Spencer Chode out of 10 Jacob Longcocks. And, Ninja Turtles, the first one is a 2014 is a 2
You gave it a 1 earlier.
at 1 out of 7. It's
Oh.
a 2 out of 10. 2 pepperonis out of 10 toes. And then this other movie is a 3. It's 1 step above the other movie. But I had more fun.
Where is the stick up Spencer's ass in this whole mix of ratings? Never mind, don't answer that.
His girlfriend?
Yeah.
I don't know where she is.
In case Jacob doesn't know what Krang looks like, this is Krang. He's a brain alien looking thing.
Tentacle monster. That's why
something like
Collin
that.
loves him.
Oh my fucking word.
Sure.
What is up with everyone? Everyone's always making the tentacle monster joke with me, like, oh yeah, Colin loves tentacle monsters. What the fuck? Where does that come from? Does that just come from me liking anime?
Yes.
What the fuck?
He lives in a robot suit, but he's like the stomach portion, and this is what he originally looked like in the TV show.
Cool. I like it.
It's so stupid. It's
It's so good. I loved
so-
it.
just looks like a toddler.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's why Colin likes him.
Well, you can't take Ninja Turtles seriously. They're just fun and stupid. They're stupid.
He's right.
Yeah.
Pizza.
It's like, yeah, literally like pizza. I want some anchovies, jelly bellies, and chocolate chip
I mean,
on my
no
pizza.
anchovies. If you put anchovies on yeah, no, I know.
I like
The tab's
anchovies on my pizza.
13.
Can I get on with the book that changed me from doing Swamp Thing back to back?
No.
Okay.
Yes, please go on.
That looks scary, but sure.
I
Please
read
go on, my son.
Deadman, Dark Mansion of Forbidden Love, written by Sarah Vaughn and arted by Lan Medina and Phil Hester and colored by Jose Villarrubia.
Jose, your mom.
This sounds like the most pornographic thing you've ever looked at in your life.
So here's the thing. There is not a single titty in this. It is not horny at all. It looks on the cover like it should be spooky, and it's not spooky at all. It is a haunted mansion story where a bunch of ghosts are stuck in a haunted mansion, and Deadman is kind of following somebody along, I forget why, and gets stuck in the mansion as well, so he has to try to break out and eventually solves the mystery of why everybody's stuck in the mansion, and it leads into a mystery that was happening in the real life world, I guess. It's 3 issues. Each issue is split in half, so technically 6 issues in this trade paperback. It looks like a regular sized DC trade paperback. I picked it up because 1, it looks spooky. 2, it is the only Deadman solo book that I know of existing.
Really?
I've
He's got a whole omnibus he's full.
I've never seen Deadman solo stuff.
He's not a
Me
popular
neither.
character.
No. He's hardly included in...
Anything.
Yeah.
Except for maybe, like, Justice League in the show.
Exactly. This book sucked.
Nice.
It was awful. The mystery was not much of a mystery. I was hoping for spooky. I didn't get any of that. I was hoping for maybe by the title a love story. That sucked. There was really not a whole lot of redeeming qualities about this book. I gave it a 2-star, I think, on Goodreads, simply because the art didn't offend me.
Dang, it didn't offend you. That's a start, I guess.
It's worth a read, I guess, but certainly not worth buying the book.
Dang, how much you buy?
Found it on sale at Bull Moose for $7. The cover price is $17.
Whoa.
Why the fuck would you do that?
Because I can.
Yeah, I'll leave it
Why are you
here.
being the fun police?
I'll leave it here.
Because you're always the fucking fun police, you fucking ass.
I'll leave it at Spencer's house because he'll read it eventually, I'm sure. And
Why?
I have no use for it.
Stop it! He's always
I have no use for it.
I don't.
Always trying to leave comics with you because he doesn't want it in his house.
He literally just leaves shit. I'm like, I don't want it. He's like, you'll read it eventually.
I'm-
It's like, sir,
You're
I
like those
have
grandparents that like pretend that they're trying to give you something, but they just don't want it in their basement.
I have like 50 books sitting on my shelf ready to read.
Would you rather I just throw it away and you never have the opportunity to read it again?
Yes.
Fine.
Do it. I mean, you won't. I know
I've
you
thrown
won't.
away plenty of comics.
Good for you. Jacob doesn't. Jacob keeps everything. Jacob's a hoarder.
I can't do that.
Comic order.
You'll
Yes.
be bad.
I read the second volume of Teen Titans Earth 1. There are only 2 volumes, and the story is not being continued. Big fat rip.
We did a themed week. All 3 of us. Holy crap. That's never happened before.
A themed week?
Sure.
Yeah, you did Turtles both times. I almost did Swamp Thing both times. He did Teen Titans both times.
Oh, yeah.
Goo. So this came out in 2016. Obviously, it's another graphic novel follow-up to the last one. Still written by Jeff Lemire with pencils by Andy McDonald. The Titans are in hiding, and they are trying to... Or technically, they're not the Titans or the Teen Titans, but they're... Whatever.
They're Titans.
Not yet, but yeah. The group is hiding from the authorities and the feds and the brown shirts, basically. And Niles Calder is...
They're hiding from the fun police.
Yes. Niles Calder is just chilling in his special man wheelchair because he's like super screwed up or whatever. He has other kids. Turns out that there was an entire other project. There was the Starfire project, and then there was the Blackfire project because, you know, Starfire has a sister called Blackfire, which is a horrible name. They cloned her originally, and before infusing her DNA into babies.
Blackfire is a bad name, but the Black Flame is not.
That is true. So they tried to directly clone her, and it didn't work out well. But there's a whole other program running that he has who are Teen Titans. There is a Kid Flash who's basically Impulse. I don't remember if it's Bart or Wally.
They always seem to do that, don't they?
When they do a young one, yeah. There is a... I don't even remember her name. She's like a younger... She's like a version of Wonder Girl, I think. And then there's this other character I have no familiarity with. Might be an original character. I don't know. Whatever.
What's her name?
I don't even remember. Like, she's very forgettable. But Niles Calder has his own team of indoctrinated superheroes who are going to actually save the world from those evil bad ones who are on the run. And they clash, and by the power of friendship, you know, by the power of Grayskull, they come together and form one mega team to get rid of Calder and blah, blah.
They're not friends.
Family.
They're family.
Yeah, the biggest threat in this was Jericho in Deathstroke's body coming back. It was fine. It wasn't as exciting as the first one. The art was definitely better. It was less exciting. It was less stylized, but it was a lot easier to follow. The dialogue was a lot better, like drastically better. A lot less angsty and like overly dramatic dialogue. The twisting of the Doom Patrol and Titans and lore was really interesting. Beast Boy basically adopts what they call Aqualad. He was another one of the kids that they found in like a tank. He can only stay in water for a certain amount of time. When he eats too many marshmallows, he throws up. It's very funny.
Oh.
This needed to be way longer. This story felt really rushed, even though the book is the same size as the last one. This feels like the end of a 3-part instead of the end of a 2-part. It's weird. It's decent as one story, and the fact that there's no follow-up is kind of annoying, because there was a 3rd Batman book. The 4th one is not happening. Wonder Woman also got a 3rd. There's not a 4th one happening. Same thing with Superman. Green Lantern is only getting the 2. Apparently, I don't know if there were creative differences or something, but the artist for the Green Lantern run, which was easily the best by a long shot, confirmed that just it wasn't going to work out and they weren't going to be able to do a 3rd book. The Flash and Aquaman books never even got off the ground past a couple of pages, so I don't know what's going on with this imprint. It's always been kind of iffy, but it's just kind of annoying that it's not getting a 3rd one. It bothers my stupid OCD brain. It was all right. I bought it for $12 at Bull Moose. If you buy the first one, it might be worth it to buy the second one. There's some cool designs, and the action's kind of fun, but, I just like watching Beast Boy and Aqualad, honestly. The Tara and Victor romance that they try to sell you on the whole time is just not doing it for me. So I like the silly fish boy with the silly tiger monkey boy, you know? Speaking of silly monkey boy, big shout out to our patrons over at patreon.com/Dime Comic Bros. Jeff Lawrence and Caitlin, you guys help keep the lights on, keep the show running, quote unquote, smoothly.
I wouldn't go that far. That's quite daring, good sir.
Not going off of a cliff.
Okay, that's better.
Baseline.
Yep.
If you want to get shouted out every episode, as well as get stickers, sketches done by Collin, early access to this podcast, Dime Gaming Bros, where Jacob and I go over a bunch of gaming-related shenanigans.
And happy hour.
Exclusive access to our other podcast, Dime Comic Bros Happy Hour, where the 3 of us sit around, have a drink, coffee, beer, whatever, and talk about random, assorted, crazy stuff. Thank you to our partners over at Jetpack Comics and Games in downtown Rochester, New Hampshire. I buy most of my books there because I like supporting local businesses because I'm better than everybody else.
Except that both books you reviewed this week came from Bulmos.
Yeah, that too. They have plenty of stuff, and they'd be more than happy to order anything or order additional copies if you need something. They always got plenty of recommendations for comic books, graphic novels, single issues, trades, omnibuy, whatever. They got some fun.
It's like Succubi, but different.
Yeah. They have Funko Pops if you're into that. They got D&D stuff. They got Magic. They got Pokemans. They got plushies. They got a big Batman thing that you can take photos with and point at his balls. So go let them know that we sent you, preferably with a photo of you fondling the Batman statue's balls. Please don't actually touch it.
Don't actually touch the statue. Please don't.
Don't do that. But
we do not recommend.
We do not condone it, but we do recommend it.
Alright, okay, Spencer does not condone. None of us condone, but Spencer recommends.
Are you being the fun police?
He is literally being the fun police.
So when it comes to comic book stores and touching things, I am the fun police.
I am the fun police.
I am very uncomfortable when someone touches something.
So you're saying you're like somebody's grandparents anytime you're in the comic book store, like, don't touch that!
That's just parents in general, dude. Did yours not do that? Mine were like, yo, break it, you bought it. When we're in, like, the grocery store. Like, what am I going to do? Break a milk jug?
My parents weren't
break open a Necco wafers?
Yeah, I mean, I probably would have done that, to be fair.
Yeah. But it's Necco wafers. It costs, like, half a penny.
Dog, we were poor,
wafer.
Dude.
Per wafer.
Yeah.
Oh, you were poor.
Yes. Next week, we'll be going over news, as well as the next episode of She-Hulk and the next issue of Do a Powerbomb, because that's coming out in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then...
so make sure you tune in for that.
Andor is coming up quickly, my dudes.
Yeah, we gotta...
That's on the 21st.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Yes, sirree, Bob. I'm excited. So tune in for that and stuff and things. Goodbye. Get out of my house. You're gonna have to edit around this. My apologies. Blah, 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 blah. Come on.
Come on, me, like
No.
Swamp Thing.
Sir.